In recent weeks, Tesla has actually lowered their prices until recently when they raised their prices on the Model Y because, well, obviously the increased demand and the changes in the rules that the US government has made, making more of their vehicles and their models eligible for tax credits. Now, the Austin-based company increased the price of the Model Y long-range version by 2%, and their performance version increased by 2.7%. Now, that's excluding all the shipping and order fees and things, which, are always included in these vehicles. But it's really not all that much money when you look at what you're going to get in a tax credit. The recent price increases overall come just 3 weeks after Tesla cut prices by nearly 20% of some versions of the Model Y. So the company's top selling vehicle still is more of a bargain than it ever has been. The cuts were made in an effort to boost the sagging demand for vehicles and make more versions eligible for that $7,500 electric vehicle tax credit that was part of the Inflation Reduction Act, which of course has done nothing but increase inflation. And before we get further into this particular story, do double check that you are currently subscribed to the channel. If not, turn that little red button gray and hit that bell icon and turn on all the notifications. I would truly appreciate it. We are racing ever quickly to 10K, which I hope to hit by the middle of summer. So these tax credits will be available until at least March, and I think that's going to greatly influence the profits over there at Tesla. Your stock price seems to be depressed. The Treasury Department recently revised vehicle classification definitions, making more and more electric vehicles eligible for this particular $7,500 tax credit. This includes some SUVs that were made by Tesla, Ford, and GM. Ford and GM have had a really rough time recently. And the changes came after lobbying by all of those automakers, including Tesla. In fact, Elon himself met with top aides to President Biden to discuss the EV industry and the broader goals of electrification. And while I don't think every vehicle it's feasible to have every vehicle be electric, it's interesting that we're seeing more and more widespread adoption. Under this particular version of the Inflation Reduction Act, which was passed in the summer, of course, it's noted in the article I'm referencing that was only with Democratic votes. Pickup trucks, SUVs, and vans with a sticker price of up to $80,000 qualify for EV tax credits, which means that, Chevy or I should say GM and Ford and many others are going to have to drop their prices a bit to make it into this area. But the rule had disqualified, obviously, some high-priced SUVs, such as GM's Cadillac Lyriq, and some versions of the Y model, which, of course, led to complaints by these automakers because they wanted to sell more cars. Tesla's January price cut seemed to have been successful if you look at what came across over the earnings conference call recently. Elon Musk reported the strongest number of orders year to date in the company's history, so it worked. And he said that the company had raised the Model Y price a little bit in response to that. That makes a lot of sense. Make a little bit more profit there. Musk taking those actions over at Tesla, you saw Ford responding in the same way. They were reducing the price of their sports vehicle, the Mustang Mach-E, while GM did nothing with their prices. They didn't reduce them at all. Now, the EV tax credits are part of a broader effort to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions, which are a debatable thing here in this world. And of course, it will spur EV sales. So, one goal accomplished. However, a complex web of requirements, including where vehicles and batteries must be manufactured, was also included in part of this particular deal. That's, of course, cast doubt on whether buyers can actually receive the full credit because, again, sourcing these materials, batteries, and other components are not always consistent. Supposedly, the Treasury Department is hoping to make it easier for consumers to know which vehicles qualify. I would say, why are you putting a limit on it? You need to essentially look at where things come from before you start to make deals like this. Therefore, it's as simple as possible. But hey, the federal government does nothing simply. Overall, the recent price increases and the changes in the tax credits demonstrate the ongoing effort to encourage people to move to electric vehicles and to reduce, the ones that actually burn fuel. With the rising demand from the public for these kinds of vehicles, and specifically for the government who's trying to push it, automakers are looking at a pretty bright future when it comes to their EV development. At what cost, I think everybody else will have to ask themselves when you look at what environmentally is done for each and every battery that's required for these particular vehicles. But that's another story for another time. And it seems like we're doing an awful lot of videos that involve Elon Musk. In fact, there's another one right here that you might be interested in. All you have to do is click on it to check it out. And as always, I'll end this video saying, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time,